Hello, my name is John Riley with Samtec. Today I will be presenting Essentials for Success, the correct connector system, as part of Industry Tech Days. During this presentation, you'll expect to learn about the correct connector system for your application and how crucial it is to the success of your design. All connectors are made up of plastic components and metal pins, but how they're put together and what their features are will set you up for the success when choosing the correct connector. Today we'll go through connector categorization, key features, both mechanical and electrical, and how they work together, understanding test reports and what to look for when you're selecting your connector, and how there is additional support accessible to you from Samtec and industry leaders. Let me explain a little background on Samtec and how we're a little different than the industry, where we integrate our technologies with the product solutions. The technology bubbles that you see on the left are support systems that will feed into developing new products and new solutions. Depending on which industry that you're working in, you may search by industry specific or by feature of the connector. At Samtec, we like to look at the features of the connectors because they will cross across multiple industries. Samtec covers most major markets in the industry, from industrial applications, computer semiconductor, datacom, medical, aerospace and defense, instrumentation, automotive and telematics, and consumer. Each of these can be broken down to features, and that's why Samtec shows them in what we call our solution blocks. We categorize them by high-speed board-to-board and backplane, high-speed cable assemblies, micro-rugged systems, flexible stacking, optics, and RF. During this presentation, we will dig into the details of the contact systems and components, but Samtec is very aware of the full system solution. From the source generating the signal to where it's going, we want to be fully aware of the full system design. If we look at a river source, where the water comes from, where it comes down to the river and goes through features and then to its end source, we can compare that to the journey of the connector and the signal. Ideal connectors compared to a river source, the cleaner the channel, the cleaner the river, the faster the flow of the signal. In a connector, a perfectly concentric, perfectly shielded and isolated connector will produce the best signal. This is found in precision RF and RF components, where it is one channel, one cable, one shielding, and one signal. As we add features to the design, whether we widen the trace, widen the connector, or add bends and forms into the connector, we see losses and issues come to play when looking at the signal integrity. Samtec wants to make sure that we provide the cleanest, less intrusive signal path to your design. But we know that when adding features, solder joints, cables, shields, terminations, breakout regions, all of these things add ripples in the signal. So how do we create a clean signal? How do we prevent rapids and issues that come up in the signal channel? That's where Samtec's connector design and technology groups work together to provide the best solution. We'll talk about some of the contact features, some of the older legacy types of contacts that may be for high reliability, or some of the newer ones that are for high speed and isolated signals. When looking at some of the more rugged systems, multiple points of contacts are important. The redundancy in the signal helps prevent any losses through rugged shock, vibration, or extreme conditions. Two of the contact styles shown here, the Tiger Claw, is two beams that come together and sandwich between the main pin. The Tiger Eye is a stamped and formed contact that may have 2, 3, or even 4 points of contact for even higher reliability. But if you look at the features, there are many features that make those bends and beams come to play, which creates rapids and ripples in the signal condition through. So for high reliability, you may lose a little with signal integrity, not in all cases. If we go to a flat stamped contact, we can stack the pins very tightly within the plastic and make extreme micro-pitch contact systems. The problem with this is the way the stamping is done, we have to build in additional features to make the cantilever beam, the contact, give enough give during the mating condition. It's very cost effective and very fast to produce, but the length of the signal is longer as it goes through the contact. As we put all of these pieces together, the flat stamping, the form, the beams, we come up with our edge rate style contact. This is optimized for the most flexibility on the beam itself, but also the orientation of the way the pin is prevents crosstalk from pin to pin. The previous blade and beam, the flat wide side, may radiate noise between pins. The edge rate style contact is smaller edge that is radiating less noise to its adjacent pin. Let's take a moment and watch a short video on the features and benefits of an edge rate style contact.
With some connectors, the mating edge of the contact is the cut edge of the pin. If you look at the edge under a microscope, you may see micro burrs and edges. This reduces the life of the connector because repeated cycles against those cut edges will wear out the plating. But the mating surface of the edge rate contact is the smooth, milled side of the contact. This smooth mating surface reduces wear tracks on the contact, increasing the durability and life cycle of the contact system. The thin, narrow cut edges of the edge rate contact are positioned side by side. This minimizes the parallel surface areas, which reduces broadside coupling and crosstalk.
Each type of contact will be tailored and modified based on the style of signal that you're sending. Features and benefits of the beam geometry will carry over, but will be larger or smaller based on power versus signal. Power is all about the cross-sectional area and how much energy can you pump through the contact system. The beams are still similar, multiple points of contacts, large blades sliding past each other. Where in a signal, a high-speed signal, multiple pins tightly stitched together and shielding and grounding will be more important. All of these types of contact systems in different varieties and flavors cross all of Samtec's solution blocks. You'll find similarities between all the solution blocks in different orientations and different features with different support across all of them. Now that we've talked about some of the components and some of the contact systems, how do we explain their performance, both mechanically and electrically? On our website, you'll find test reports for each connector system. As we go down to the mechanical test reports, search under the qualification test reports and select the test that you'd like to see. These test reports select the largest and smallest positions of most connector families. The mechanical test reports are under the qualification test report. These will go through how much current, how many cycles, how much force, and how rugged are these in your system. Let's go through one now. The results of the mechanical test report can be found typically 13 or 14 pages into the report. Current carrying capacity, mating and unmating, thermals, humidity, cycling, normal force, insulation resistance, and low-level circuit resistance across multiple facets, from general durability to thermal aging and humidity. Normal force is important and goes back to the contact system of how springy the contact is and how tight of a connection it makes. As long as that connection is maintained, the signal integrity will stay consistent. For current carrying capacity, Samtec will derate our results to give you a factor of safety and how much current each individual contact can carry at a time. So the individual signal integrity report explains the connector itself. If you're interested in how does this fit in my system or with a protocol that I am using, you can find that on the web page as well, from Ethernet protocols, I/O protocols, optical protocols, and storage protocols. These will tell you if the connector is suitable or capable at each level in the system. Some connectors you will find additional tests that we have performed to push the limits of the connector system itself. Samtec has implemented a severe environment test. This is driven mostly by military and aerospace, medical, and other rugged applications. Samtec takes our existing qualification report and pushes it to the limits with higher mating cycles at 100% humidity, intense shock and vibration, higher temperature cycles, altitude testing at 70,000 feet, and ESD electrostatic discharge testing, as well as outgassing. Samtec has also started looking into immersion cooling. Immersion cooling is how future data centers and very rugged applications will keep cool with the higher power requirements. Just as an example, we are showcasing the C-Ray connector. This is an open pin field where you may not use it fully powered, but to show the benefits of immersion cooling, the last line of the control in air shows 0.5 amps per contact across all 500 pins. Now in the fully submerged connector, the same test with all 500 contacts powered, you can push 2.5 amps per pin. We are currently testing severe environment testing and immersion across multiple solution blocks and areas. We've walked through features and benefits of contact systems, mechanical and electrical test reports. We want to point out that these are done on all products that Samtec makes across every solution block. Depending on how they are used and where they are used is when we apply additional testing. Samtec has technology support for hardware associated with these, how to best protect your system and connector in the application. We have interconnect processing support on how to solder your connector to the board. Samtec wants to use all our resources to set you up for success when designing and picking your connector system. So through this presentation, we've covered connector categorization, connector features of the contact systems, both mechanical and electrical results from those contact systems, how to understand and find the test reports and results, and what additional support can be provided. Let me take just a minute to tell you more about Samtec. Samtec was founded in 1976 as a broadline connector manufacturer. We have a global reach with over 40 locations, 125 countries served, and well over 6,000 employees. We're privately held and are ranked #1 in connector manufacturing. Samtec covers all major markets served, and we continue to evolve and grow and release new products year over year. These are Samtec's worldwide locations. With manufacturing across the globe, we can ship connectors to you most efficiently where you are and where your designs are being built. Our support centers are our technology centers that are here to support in your design, your application, and how to best set up your connector for success. And you can find your local sales and regional sales representatives across the world. Samtec is known for its sudden service, from 24-hour free samples to 2-day transit across all major markets, and now a new reserve where it ships tomorrow more than 200,000 part numbers next day. All of our content on the website is available through downloads of the 3D models, the footprints and ECAD models, test reports, and the technical library. Our technical support service centers will support you through full system signal integrity, application support, and processing and application engineering. All this can be found at samtec.com. Whether you're trying to find your connector by the feature or the picture, how to set up your mating connectors, how to build your cable assembly, or download all the supporting models. Once you've selected your ideal connector. If you'd like additional support or additional information on the electrical engineering side of it, Samtec has created Geek Speak, a series of webinars that takes it to a deeper level of electrical engineering. These can be found on demand at samtec.com/geekspeak. For additional webinars during Industry Tech Days, look for a live session from Samtec on September 17th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where Samtec will be discussing common sense criteria for selecting the right connector from years of application experience with customers. If you'd like to reach out to Samtec, go to samtec.com/support, and you'll be able to find the individual email group that will get you to the best solution fastest. Thanks for joining us. My name is John Riley with Samtec.